Nigeria is not only possible, it's inevitable, as you said, for the sake of the black race. Thank you very much.
In the best traditions of the Athena Center and, of course, journalism, I must give Mr. Aregbesola the right of reply.
Well, I thank Athena for this opportunity, and I thank the eminent personalities there. It's well attended. Great women and men. I commend you for your time and sacrifice as we are thanking Athena. I refuse to respond to Governor Anambra because to me, it's not even an issue. It's not an issue because how am I sure that what he keeps on repeating and harping upon was not orchestrated by him? How are we sure? How are we sure? So I mean, from all indications and seeing the gusto which is repeating this matter, I want to believe that what is making reference to by our own tradition and what we seek to do, it can never happen from us. Our commitment is to reset the polity and benchmark the best practices as the minimum we will ever allow to happen with us. So, and that's one. Two, don't forget the ADC that we are on now had been a party before we took it over as a platform of opposition. So, and the process that was in place at the election is making reference to happened before we even took it over. So if indeed my first charge was wrong, that it was not occasioned by him and his people, I want to believe that what happened was in the past. It is not in our character to seek to manipulate the electoral process. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And
wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀, àbàmì wálẹ̀. Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀.
Anyway, so you expect, or you should expect more of that in the coming weeks and months, as they are all gearing, towards this year 2027. But Anambra is going to have election next month. Soludo is seeking a second term, and from all indicators, it seems like he's going to get it. And that is one hell of confidence that people believe is being, kind of like showing, more or less like it's not got any real opposition, so to say, in Anambra. And he pitted his tent with Tifnumbu, where he called himself a progressive too, like Abga and all that. And you know the story, you know the rest. Now let's leave that, right, to their National Assembly, okay? So the conversation around the genocide going on in Nigeria that is currently being pushed as the genocide against the Christians by the jihadists, and a pushback from Tifnumbu and this gang to show to the rest of the world that those who have that kind of beliefs or convictions are wrong, right? That Nigeria is peaceful. People are living peacefully with themselves. And the terrorists, they are not minding anyone. They killed Muslims, they killed Christians and all that. So this conversation has now got into the National Assembly of Nigeria, where House of Representatives, as well as the Senate, are having a chat around that to push with Tifnumbu to join them in pushing back pushing the narrative that those who are trying to call the killings in Nigeria a genocide against the Christians are trying to cause religious problems in Nigeria. And therefore, they must be resisted, and other dumb arguments they are pushing up. Because their own is that they can't let Tifnumbu look bad, not to the rest of the world, and not to the Arewa North. So rather than for them to actually admit, and you see one thing about this conversation is that for those who have been public about it, right, some will tell you that it is not genocide against Christians, but yeah, they are killing Christians and they are killing Muslims. So therefore, people who are trying to call it genocide against the Christians are trying to cause trouble. So when they talk about, yes, they are killing Christians and them, the question then would be, who is killing them? Who is killing these Christians? And who are the people killing the Muslims? The jihadists, the terrorists. But they spend passionate time to talk about the intention of those who are pushing that Christians are being killed, but not pushing that Muslims are also being killed too. So they fought that, and they consider that as an agenda against Nigeria, that every Nigerian must try to understand and resist. The people who are asking you to resist, right, from the onset, they are these Arewa closet terrorists who have celebrated lynching, celebrated the blasphemy, people being convicted for saying something not nice about the prophets. Now they are those pushing back to say, oh yeah, they are killing Muslims too. So they want to divide us. We are all living together peacefully. But you know that is not true, right? Just like many other of their problems, right? Where they will try to gloss over it and say, we are one. We are one Nigeria. We love ourselves. Don't let any other country who don't wish us well. Oh, the way Europe underdeveloped Africa. Or the way the imperialists don't want Africa to grow. And the rest of all those things they say to us to make you feel like the existential problems, the killings, right? They are happening, but you shouldn't see it as a big deal. If you remove all the killings, at least we are all peaceful, we are all happy with ourselves. Are you mad? Remove the killings. Like, let's just remove the killings and, don't let anybody talk about our killings, okay? Now they kill ourselves, so they should stay away. They want you and me to fight so that, I say, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Dear. So in the National Assembly, first, the guy who is Ben Kalu, his name is Benjamin Kalu from Abia, the guy who is planning to chase Alex Otti out in 2027, is attempting to be the APC governorship candidate in Abia in 2027. Ben Kalu, who said that whatever Otti is doing is because Tifnumbu is giving him so much money, but he's not even using all the money, so therefore he's got to be out. So his own position on the killing is to outrightly deny it that way. Benjamin Kalu. He's not alone, by the way, but his own part first.
As in recent annual report, recommended Nigeria for CPC designation, citing persistent violence and violations and state failures protect against non-state actor abuses. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the House recognizes that Nigeria's constitution guarantees freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, and bars adoption of a state religion, and that successive administrations, security agencies, faith leaders, civil society continue to undertake measures to protect all worshippers and prosecute offenders, as reflected in the U.S. Department of State 2023's country chapter and prior reports. As the Speaker of the House also observes that insecurity in Nigeria is complex and multi-causal, driven by insurgency, driven by criminal banditry, farmer-herder conflicts, separatist by-elections, and communal disputes affecting citizens of all faiths. International reporting attributes a significant share of fatalities to terrorist groups and criminal gangs rather than state policy on a single religious dynamic. The Speaker of the House is concerned that external legislative action based on incomplete or decontextualized assessment risks undermining Nigerian sovereignty, misrepresenting facts, straining strategic relations, and unintentionally emboldening violent actors. Mindful of Nigeria's long-standing partnership with the United States as our ally, especially on counter-terrorism, human rights, democratic governance, and interfaith dialogue, the African Union's emphasis on tolerance and inclusive societies. Based on this, Mr. Speaker, the House resolves as follows. Number 1, condemn all forms of violence, prosecution against any person or group on the basis of religion or belief. Commiserate with all victims irrespective of faith. House resolves to reject outrightly narratives that frame Nigerian security crisis as a singularly religious conflict or a state-sponsored persecution, and reaffirms Nigeria's constitutional protections, freedom of religion and belief. The House mandates committees of foreign affairs, national security and intelligence, interior and information, national orientation and values, to within 21 days coordinate with A, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Nigerian Embassy in Washington, D.C., to lodge a formal diplomatic demand to the sponsors of S-2747, relevant U.S. committees, transmitting empirical data and Nigerians' official position. B, coordinate with the U.S. mission in Nigeria and interested U.S. legislators, propose a Nigeria-U.S. joint fact-finding and dialogue mechanism, freedom of religion or belief, with participation from faith leaders and independent experts, and to invite U.S. CIRF to a hearing or briefing of this House to examine sources, methodology, and remedies. If they like, invite a delegation of this Parliament, the 6 geopolitical zones of this country, to brief the U.S. Senate on the facts on ground. The House resolved to call on the National Human Rights Commission, police, DSS, relevant state authorities to submit to the House within 30 days a consolidated report on investigations and prosecutions relating to religious framed violence, since year 2023, identifying bottlenecks and resource needs. This will confirm the House and government position that there is no state-sponsored persecution on the basis of religion. The House further mandates the committees on legislative compliance to ensure execution of these resolutions, Mr. Speaker, report back to the House within 28 days. The House resolved to order that this resolution be transmitted to the Presidency, Federal Minister.
Nuisance, Lily. He spoke a lot, so I just had to cut it short. So the part I wanted us to listen to is the part I have shared, where they acknowledge the move that a foreign parliament is about to enact laws based on the persecution and the genocide against Christians in Nigeria. A report that Nigerian politicians who have for a while now have done their best to suppress the news of the killings in Nigeria, even on occasions where their colleagues raised their concerns from their own constituencies, where they are facing these killings and all that, they are automatically shut down. Nothing is done. It's just all talks like they were doing there. So right now they are interested. So to save face, Kalu was proposing that it is not enough for them to go onto TV, to go on the internet and be trying to refute the claim of the killings in Nigeria. Because what these guys are trying to do, that is the American Senate, right? What they are trying to do, if they should go ahead without Nigeria's representation, right? It is going to, the consequences is going to be so damning that all it's going to take is just to send the names from the same source. They gathered all of this intel of these killings, right? So it will be just to send the names of some people to America, and America will come for them, sort of, in a different way. So that's what the bill is going to do. Their family members, their whatever, starting with what they have in America. And these are thieves who have stolen so much from this country that their safe haven have always been these countries, Europe, America, and all these places. So it will be so damning. So they needed to be represented by telling this American Congress or American Senate that, no, you are wrong. Here is the report. See our military report. See evidence. There is no government sponsored this or that. Remember that El Rufaya, Kaduna Littlefinger, publicly made an allegation that has now stuck, and that is Rebadom, Tinubu's government, they are paying hundreds of billions of naira to terrorists every month just to manage them. An allegation that Ribadom, your national security advisor, debunked. But El-Rufaya is still working, and he's repeated it again. That, yeah, Nigeria, Tinubu's government, despite the fact that they are buying these terrorists, they are giving them money. The terrorism has become so widespread, money making industry, that it's not going to end. So how can you be fighting terrorism at the same time funding terrorism? An allegation that the likes of El Rufaya, the Kaduna Littlefinger, right? They are an experts. They are very good. So when it comes to them going to America to explore or exploit this gap, you can imagine the damages that this is probably going to be, or how serious it is, despite the fact that they might want to play it down, like the way they speak on TV and all that, right? for them to say, man, we need to act. We need to send people to America, okay, from this house. So they will go to America and approach the committee that is discussing this S5 something bill. And tell them that whatever they have, forgetting the fact that there is a documented evidence, both video as well as well-documented evidence, the killing in Southern Kaduna, the killings in, what do you call it, the Middle Belt part of Nigeria,